So that was really easy. Well, not really. But we're going to show you how we got to here. This isn't down all the way, right?
No, I don't think so.
No. Okay.
What do I need to do?
Huh?
What do I need to do?
I don't know. It's going. It's going.
All right.
We just need to chill. There it is. That's
All right.
through.
No.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're good. We're good. Man, that spring is down in there, isn't it?
Yeah. Kind of makes me want to put the motor in. Hockey puck. About a 1-inch hole, and worked really good because once you put the spring in the bottom, well, spring in the upper pocket, coil spring, and then you get it into its seat. The whole object too is to use the jack and bring the lower control arm up. Now, important thing, when you don't have an engine, you don't have any weight in the chassis, so by default it wants to just lift. So I used a real heavy duty nylon strap from like a car trailer setup, but the ultimate you'd like to use a chain and go around the frame down to the axle of the jack. This way, when you're hoisting it up, this chassis cannot lift up in the air.
Well, because it will. We learned that.
Well, yeah, I've been doing this for years this way, but I usually use chains. Trailer chains work real good with the two little hooks. Anyway, Scott came up with this really good idea because once you start jacking up on this, the spindle wants to go like this and it will skate around. So now, if you take this, you put this right over the nut, and when you're lifting the jack, it's got a good support to it, and the other thing is, well, you're not marring anything up.
And it slides around easier on the jack.
Yeah, so, and it also sits in the jack real look. Look at that. Perfect, huh?
OEM.
OE. So, without any more blabbing on, let's get started here.
All right.
All right.
Let the fun begin.
Oh,
And
yeah.
by fun, I mean no danger.
No danger. We want danger.
I think we had enough of that today.
Yeah. Kevin is not having a good day. That's me.
Just that easy. See, that was simple. Wasn't scary or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is I use a chain. I go, well,
Yeah.
it was in the spring.
Yeah.
and I go around the frame. This way it's
You want me to cap frozen dairy?
Oh my God, is this a pro wrestler?
I'm doing it.
What's your pro wrestler name?
Look ridiculous.
And in this corner,
Adore. Look ridiculous.
ridiculous.
Adore.
But at least pandemic safe. Don't breathe on the other wrestler. Is this a stick up?
Yeah.
Should I pull my pants out or something? Get it?
I thought you were coming to ask us who wants a beer.
It's not a stick out.
Oh, stick up.
I'm gonna wear this tomorrow. You know, when you're working cold
I'm
areas,
freaking
then
hilarious.
I'm ready.
Oh my God.
Right in time, Derek. We just finished. So now the hard, scary, death part is done. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Rest is easy.
You're a dick. You know why? Because now everything's going to be like hell in a handbasket now. You know that?
No, that's not true.
You just jinxed
Since
us.
I came over here, shit got a lot smoother. You gotta admit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we didn't even need
Plus the
this.
car.
Like soft serve.
We invest the car.
It's true.
No.
Much.
Not that one. It's the other one. Passenger side.
Look for the ripped plastic.
Thank God for 70s chrome.
I'm telling Terry Marsh.
Go for it. She'll be so mad.
Correct, Mike.
What we're doing today is we're adding a Wilwood 4-piston disc brake setup on stock spindles. This specific kit only works on stock style spindles, and if you have drop spindles, the kit actually does not work. I don't know the part number to the kit. I threw away a lot of this stuff. That's something you want to go through with Wilwood and let them know exactly what spindle you got. Anyway, so moving forward, I got the spindle all nice and clean and degreased, and it's all ready to go. And let's get started. But before we start, I'll be honest, I put the other side on so I can be professional for you, or someone. And the kit went on very nice, and if I were to pick the pepper out of the fly shit, I would say that these bolts that have some galvanizing on them from Wilwood, the threads were a little, I don't want to say galled, but they seemed like they had some coating inside of them, as well as the nuts. Now, these nuts also, I believe, work as locking nuts as well. So when I ran the tap through it, I didn't go real far. I just, you know, worked on the entrance of the nut. So now it works smooth, and then it starts getting resistance as it should. So that was the one thing I just wanted to go over. So you're going to need a 9/16 socket, ratchet. I use 1.16" for the castle nut. You obviously don't not have to torque hard on that. I got a 1/2" wrench with a 12 point that fits the this style nut. I have Loctite. I'm using red on the large, and then use blue on the small. I have a 5/32 hex and a 3/8 hex. That should put the entire kit on. If I have to get something else, I will demonstrate that. But I basically put everything on the other side and brought it over here. So these are the caliper brackets. They come with a think I ripped off and it blew away. But they put these bolts on here just for illustration of how these brackets go. I'm sure I would have gotten confused as well. Do note, these bolts need to come out, and I did it after I bolted it on, and they need Loctite. Now, the online instructions did not show that the calipers mount on the front of the brake system, because I got the directions I just looked at quickly they're very close to it. So anyway, they will bolt on. This will bolt on like this, and the caliper goes right on the front. So let's get started. So these bolts require these little shoulder washers, cold shoulder washers, because they're real tight. And if I can find the other bolt. Oh, it's over here. Alright. So the shoulder washer. Second one. Walk through there. And then your steering arm. You got shoulder washers. And we tighten those up. Little dab of Loctite. Actually, got to take this one off. Okay. And then you want to just like right at this point, you just want to loosely tighten this. And I did forget, you also need a 5/8 socket. That is for this bracket, or this bolt. Alright, now we're going to put our tapered hex bolt in. And I'm keeping this loose so this is not going to bind. And just as a reminder, I have the two bottom bolts just snug. This one, click, click. There. I will recheck for torque. Right now we're just putting these on to check fitment. I am putting Loctite on because just in case I don't take it off, I want to make sure there's Loctite. Truth be told. Alright, now we're going to get the bottom ones tight. So those are tight now, and then now this is the time you want to take a 9/16 and pull these out separately. And throw a little Loctite on there and tighten them. I like to do it this way because now this is sandwiched in there, and you don't have to mess around with the spacers falling out on you. A little Loctite on there. Put it back on. Get it tight. And then for the bottom, you do the same procedure. Okay, so I have the hub assembly here. I went ahead and I installed the studs prior with Loctite. I also installed the large taper bearing in here, and I went through the correct procedure for greasing it. That's something that you could just look online and get the instruction, but the way I do it is I put it in my palm and I roll the bearing through it. And then you install the seal, as you see, with the brass outward towards you. That's the way the seal works. And then, you know, we will add. Let's get this slid on right now. And you always want to make sure you go real. You know, you don't hit the threads with the seal. There we go. We got our tapered bearing over here. Worked out good. I like to put a little bit of extra grease on this. Just on the threads for fun. And then paper towel, fingers. And then you put the washer on. As you see, it's got the little square that fits right here. And then take your castle nut. I need to get another one of these. This is the only one I got. And yes, I was scolded by the cameraman, my buddy Scott, who builds on the channel as well. He's like, I can't believe you don't have 10 of them. Because I normally have about 10 nuts. Oh, that's a bad one. So anyway, this will be my community castle nut for this side, as it was for the other side. I will not be installing the cotter pin tonight, but you want to make sure you put a cotter pin in, okay? Well, we're gonna get this on. I'm using usually I use a crescent wrench here, and I go back and forth and work it in. You don't want to go obviously too tight. You want to roll it and find that sweet spot, and this would be my sweet spot right here. And I would drop my cotter pin in and bend her over, and then you install your nice Wilwood cap here. If my fingers will work, I'm holding a rag and a ratchet in the other hand. There we go. So then now look at that, looking pretty. Oh, let's clean it. Oh, nice. All right, so next thing you want to do is, with clean hands, mine are halfway clean, we're gonna add the rotor. Now, something you want to make sure, this arrow is going in the direction of your car when it's in drive, because this is the vented and slotted rotors. Okay. Now, I'll spin this over on your end, so Makes it a little harder for me, but this has 3 threaded holes in here. Boom, boom, boom. And there's 3 threaded holes here. Okay, now, just because I'm a pro at this now, the way I have it now should line up. It's it only goes on one way. And look at that. Who knew? Now, these tapered hex bolts, you want to use blue Loctite. Do not use red, because then these things will probably never come off. I am putting them in dry, but that's not the way they want. Alright, got this one tight, just checking here. You don't have to go crazy on these, they just hold it on. Alright, now we're going to be installing the calipers. We're going to be using the shoulder washers again. Now, the kit comes with a bunch of shims that would go on here and here to shim the brake caliper. I'm taking this card off. You can only use .5.1 brake fluid, or 3 or 4. I read this backwards, so you can see that. You could use blue Loctite on this as well if you like. Now, important thing is, this isn't tight, but I'm pretending it is. This needs to be right in line with this. Now, this is telling me that this needs to come out a little bit. This would probably take about 1 washer to do this. So you want to line this up with this groove in here, and then once that's done, you tighten it up, and then you pull the pin, and then you slide your brake pads in, and then you put your pin back in, and then bend over the one tab. You don't need this rubber band, but I'm not putting the brake pads on this right now because we're still building the car. So once that's done, and then you use an 1/8 inch pipe fitting here, a AN or whatever you're using. I always recommend a braided line up to your hard line, because braided line works much better. It doesn't expand as much when you during heavy braking. Now, the other thing you want to know, when you're bleeding these, there's 4 bleeders. Only use the top 2, because if you use the bottom one, you're going to introduce air in there. That is instruction straight from Wilwood. Now, you also want to make sure that you go through all your motions, make sure everything is tight, double check it, and this was for illustration only. I am not a professional. I've put many brakes on, so always go by your instructions, and call technical advice at Wilwood. They're very good, just in case you have any other questions, or you could ask us, and we could try to help you as much as we can. I hope this was informative. Me myself, I couldn't find a video on Tri-5 brake setup online. I looked because just wanted to see if there was one on there. Look at that. That's pretty, huh? So this setup will also I have this on the 4 3/4 setting for Chevy wheels, or you could switch these studs for 4.5 inch, which is Mopar and Ford, which makes these really cool. All right. Well, I hope you liked it, and always subscribe, share, and like on our channel. That's awesome. And tell your friends, and we will see you on the other one. We have a lot of videos. You should check it out. Have a good one. Fuck.
What?
The seats are sold.
Oh.